I managed to make my voice pattern square.
Fantastic. Well, with that, we've launched into yet another episode.
Lovely. And I was thinking, I did think about the shows this week, and I was thinking to myself, what we should do is try and make ourselves seem more human, so that people like us and they're like, oh yeah, these are just like me. But then I got distracted by the idea of a fella that I'd made up in my head, and I figured that's probably a better direction for the show to go in, just made up people that other people might be able to possibly see themselves in. Do you know what I mean?
Take us away, Jack.
Well, I call him the peddler, as in the peddler, and he's how OnlyFans girls sometimes get about with one of them red trolleys full of Xbox 360s, and they're
I
like,
have no idea what
pick a
you're on about.
prize, you can pick a prize, you can shag me, or you can have a year's free on my account. And people are like, well, I'll take a prize, and they're like, well, you've just got a PS5, but you could have got your dick sucked by this OnlyFans girl. And other people are like, I'll have this little box here, and they're like, oh, that's a phone. You're not seeing these?
No, Jack, you're opening my eyes to this phenomena right now.
That's mad. Well, I you used to see them a lot earlier in the year. It must be more of like a summertime thing because more people are out in the street, whereas you'd be a bit, yeah, it's a seasonal graft. You might be a bit suspicious of a woman in short shorts and small top coming up to you with a red trolley at this time of the year because you'd be like,
Have I got
what are you up to here?
I hope it's a North Face. I hope it's
and I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you. Is it trousers? I'll give you some if you need them.
Yeah.
But I like the idea that this guy's doing it. Oh, I like that. I think there's a gay fella who you see sometimes doing clips. It looks like it's for a TV show, and he's like, "Do you know who so and so is? Do you know who Derek Acora is?" And Derek Acora will be stood next to him, and people obviously this is in America, so insert Derek Acora or Bruce Jones or whatever with someone relevant.
Yeah.
You actually know who they are, and they're like, no. Or they're like, what do you think of him? They're like, oh, I think he's a bit of a prick, to be honest. He's like, oh, this is him. Do you know what I mean? Like one of them, like guy on the street kind of style people.
Right. Yeah.
And he's doing that, but he gives a prize, and then he gives the prize, and the prize is in a box, and they take it off and they open it, and they're all excited, and they walk away, and then he just speaks into the collar of his shirt and goes, "Get him," like that, or he goes, "We got him," like that, and then fucking SWAT teams pile out of vans because he's given them little USB drives full of child porn.
Right, and
that's why he's called the peddler.
Any particular reason behind the fact he's dishing out child porn to people?
To get them arrested.
Aye, but is there any sort of... Is he picking anyone in particular?
No, just anyone who'll stop and take part in the video.
Ruthless.
Yeah, but also you could have the element though if you wanted of there's some of the prizes aren't a USB drive with child porn. You could also have laptops which come already full of kiddie porn.
Now there's a more interesting thing. You go up to someone in the street and go, "You want to take part in the game?" There's 10 gifts here. 8 are PS5s, 2 are brand new MacBooks, 2 terabyte hard drives, loaded to the brim with the grimmest snuff you've ever seen. Do you want to play?
I think people would take them odds. 80% chance of walking off with a PS5.
Yeah. No, well, I'm thinking some people are taking those odds going, what, 20% chance of walking away with some child porn?
With 2 terabytes, you say? Can I play twice?
Yeah.
They get a calculator out and they're like, you all right if I play 5.78 times? 6 times. Let's call it 6. Can I play 6 times? Just...
Right. The peddler seems... I mean, I've got to say, he seems like he has no sort of morals or ethics. Like he's not aiming for any sort of specific target, unless he's trying to make some sort of poignant message that the people who take part in these games, thinking they're going to be on TikTok, deserve the fame and they deserve like the spotlight in another sense.
No, he's not like that at all. He's not Jigsaw. He's just a villain.
All right,
he's just a bit of a menace.
All right, okay.
A naughty guy. He's the naughty peddler.
I'm a naughty boy.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a bit of a naughty boy. I've just given that straight. He looks into the camera, so he looks away as they walk away. and then looks back into the camera and goes, I'm a bit of a naughty boy. He took the one with the blue ribbon. 2 terabytes of kiddie porn on that. And he's just like, puts a finger up to his mouth like that as if to go, ooh, cheeky me.
Do you remember that fucking program? I'm sure I've brought it up on here before. Was it Zap or whatever? The kids' TV program that was like fucking different sort of sketches and it was on every day. One of them was just 2 hands that were like silhouette, like, you know, like play hands. There was hands in marigolds, everything else was black, and they would like act out shit. There was one that was like this mischievous lass. I can't remember her fucking name. Surely you remember Zap?
No,
Damn.
I don't. Anything with hands like that would have
reminded
me
me
out,
of a pure Zap bit.
I wouldn't have liked the hands.
No?
I have a thing, and I've noticed it more so this week as well. Again, I don't know what it is I've watched that's made me think it, but in my head when I watch a TV show or a film, don't matter what it is, there's a good guy and a bad guy. Like, well, yeah, that has to be like, and that's how my head makes sense of it. Even in something as similar as arbitrary as Coronation Street, do you know what I mean? Or
Antiques
if I did watch
Roadshow.
that, or Antiques Roadshow. You know,
you're watching
David
it going,
Dickinson's
this
real deal. Do you know what I mean? David's the good guy, and the guy sat at the table who's trying to buy the thing is the
I'm
is
thinking
the villain.
fucking Antiques Roadshow, and you're trying to work out whether the person who's the antiques expert who's trying to buy it off him is trying to fleece him, or the person that's brought the antique in has stolen that from someone they've murdered. You go, no, which one's this? Is it murdered or con artist? Murdered or con artist? I'm going to go con artist.
Not so much like that. It's more I suppose, without sounding like an arse, more a bit conceptual. It's more of who am I supposed to root for? I think they're the good guy, so I think I've got to be on their side. Do you know what I mean?
That's to a degree. I mean, there's 2 ways you could look at this. One side is the fucking tism, hitting you with there is a good and a bad objectively. One side is this, one side is that, and there's no in between. Or you could also say you're pretty much a victim of programming, because that's what a lot of media, most media has us do, because it's the easiest way to tell a story. You need to have a protagonist and an antagonist. You need to have you need to have a good force and a bad force. It doesn't matter. Like, that good force and bad force doesn't have to be fighting, say, literally or physically. In fucking lasses cry romance films, like, the bad person is usually the lad who's fucked her over or some shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the bad guy's just the ex that she doesn't like anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, he shaved his beard and he's not got much of a chin.
I can't believe he's moved to the city and he's earning lots of money because he's trying to better himself and provide.
I can't believe he accepted a 2 terabyte MacBook off a stranger in the street and now he's serving 40 years. What a cunt.
He told me he'd turn the odds. Well, I'm going back, like every Christmas film, I'm going back to my rural country home, and I'm going to meet up with the one fella there that I talked to in school, and he's never left, and now he's a lumberjack, and he's lovely, and his wife died, and he's got 2 kids, and his wife died in a horrible car accident that mangled her.
Yeah. She got minced through the air conditioning unit.
She got into a car and there were 5 grizzly bears inside. She was unaware, which was mental, because they filled the car and it was a Nissan Micra.
She'd been taking in a lot of feminist propaganda online, and she thought, I'm going to get into Uber, but I'm going to take bears from here to there.
Yeah,
I'm taking the bears from the city to their toilet in the woods. I'm not taking men to the woods; they'll rape me. But I'll take 5 grizzly bears to the toilet in the woods. And obviously, nature had its say there.
Uber.
Uber. Yeah, very nice.
Thanks, mate.
It's because of your accent. It got lost on me the first time.
It needed
dropping
your accent 3 times in order for it to land, but that's fucking sound. I pretty much died on my arse by the end.
Pattern of threes, though. You got that there.
Shit's been happening.
It has.
Syria's things are changing.
I saw Frankie Boyle post a picture of a Syrian bloke going, fucking hell, how tall's this lad? And it's like a Syrian leader standing up on the BBC News in a picture. And he's Syrian, I think. I don't know. I'll look. If you look up Frankie Boyle on Instagram, you should see it. And he's easily a torso in head above everybody. The guy's like Jaws. Like,
Um,
and he's the leader, rightfully so.
yeah,
Do you know what I
giant.
mean? Like that's who I would be like, ah, yes, you know. Where is Kandahar? Is that anything to do with Syria? Is that Afghanistan?
Let me.
Because there's giants there, isn't there? That's one of the reasons. Apparently, we were there.
It's
We weren't actually
Afghanistan.
there to. We weren't there to get oil. So oil was like the byproduct of us going over there and killing the giants.
Yeah, was it, mate? Yeah.
Some people I've read, so I've read, and that's not even. I'm not chatting shit. I have read
No, of course you
the
have. 'Cause
giants of
I've
the
seen
giants
this as
of
well.
Kandahar,
Yeah, yeah. I've
big
watched.
ginger giants.
I got into watching this. I don't know how it started appearing on my algorithm. I do. It's probably from
Stuff
hearing
I've
us.
sent you.
Just us talking about this shit on here. But I got into like some like a YouTube channel that's specifically about Middle Eastern alternative history
Cool.
and Middle Eastern history as well. But Middle Eastern alternative history or Jack's history, fucking class, man.
Yeah, it's
And
mint,
it
innit?
mentioned that. It mentioned like giants in Afghanistan and like the Stargate in fucking Iraq and all that shit.
Yeah,
Incredible
Dead
stuff.
Sea Scrolls and stuff.
So Assad's fucked off. He's gone
Right,
Moscow.
so who's Assad? Is this a fella?
Assad is the lead. It was the leader of Syria,
Right, okay.
right? Pal of Putin.
Pal of Putin.
One of the ways we've been fighting Putin for like the last however many years, besides helping fund Ukraine against Russia, has been in Syria, where we've been backing like rebel forces.
The Mark Hamills of Syria.
Who?
The Mark Hamills.
Who?
Mark Hamill.
Who? Who? Who the fuck is he?
He played Luke Skywalker.
Oh, right. Shit. I should have probably got that. People are going to listen to this and go, what a fucking arsehole. But
Neither of these are listening to each other. This is two separate conversations that could be happening at two separate times.
there's no chemistry between these two whatsoever. It's almost like mental illnesses don't gel. Nah. So we've been fighting Russia in using Syria as a playground. You know, like we like to do, where we don't fight on our turf or their turf.
Or theirs, yeah.
We
yeah.
pick
It's
a
like,
neutral
we can pay
ground.
this country over here. What we'll do is we'll level it, and then we'll say we'll build a bit of infrastructure afterwards for you. Infrastructure that will really helpfully take your natural gas and oil and we'll pipe it straight to our country. When we saw that fucking... You sent me that thing about someone... Was it the Chinese are going into the sea and cutting wires with scissors or something?
No, what they're doing...
That means there's no internet for Switzerland or something like that. I was baffled by that, mate. I had no idea that's how it works.
That is... It's a little bit more than that. All of that is wrong and right at the same time. But I can't believe how much you've hit the nail on the head and missed the ball point by a fucking mile. So a Chinese freightliner or freighter or oil tanker has been accused of purposefully dragging its anchor miles across the ocean bed to tear underwater or undersea, under ocean data cables, which are internet cables, which provide infrastructure to fucking internet connections across the globe. Between Sweden and somewhere, that's where they were held. And they're basically being accused of doing it on purpose, which it's fucking the Chinese, of course they've done it on purpose to fuck with us, or just to like.
But though, you've got to think like some car drivers, bus drivers, taxi drivers, train drivers might turn up to work a bit pissed. And if you're going to think of anyone who's going to be drinking on the job, it's the modern day pirates, like the men of the sea. That's where you should drink, so you can stagger about on the boat and it's like you're walking in a straight line, which I think is why pirates used to drink. So you could just forget to pull the anchor. I've driven off loads of times with the handbrake on.
The only reason I tend or I used to not want to drive on anything wasn't because I didn't think I could drive. Like, if I was drunk, I would never, ever, ever set foot behind a car because I know I can't drive when I'm pissed. Wouldn't even try it. But I've driven on pills, driven on acid, driven
I
on
knew a lad
mushies.
that was mint when he drove on pills. Incredible.
Same,
It was
mate.
just his reaction times
Dialed
were
in.
scary.
Absolutely dialed in. But at the
I
same
only went in
time,
the car with him once, and afterwards I was like, never again. I was so stoned when I got in, and when I got out, I was so sober.
never on coke or anything like that would get us up. But pills wouldn't get us up. Like, they'd chill us out, and I could fucking drive. Also, I was I was very intent on not getting pulled over. So in my head, I was like, your driving has to be immaculate.
Oh no, this guy would drive. He would drive around residential areas at easily 55 miles an hour, but it was as if to him he was going like 10 or 20. The way he would corner, everything about it, mate, just in one way incredible. The other way to look at it is terrifying because he was well practiced with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like he's doing that a lot.
He's seasoned.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I've only had two, and it's like 9 o'clock at night, and you're like, oh, right, so you've had 2 pills. It's 9 at night, and you think let's get in the car and have a drive.
Well,
let's drive to the skate park.
The natural progression of things.
It's a 10-minute walk.
Anyway, the one of the reasons why you don't do that is because of the likelihood of getting pulled over. Now, if you're piloting or fucking the captain of a ship,
yeah,
you're pretty much never getting pulled over.
No,
like
no. You're seeing the size of a wave. No one's seeing you on the other side of that. Like mountains, mate.
I am getting fucked if I'm the captain of a ship.
Yeah, it's a horrible job as well.
Also,
because if something goes wrong, you have to die. Otherwise, you're a fanny. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think that's yeah, mate. No, I don't think that's not how it works anymore. That's something we haven't carried on from like fucking centuries ago.
I thought you still had to.
It's there's no contractual obligement.
The idea that you're first on, last off kind of thing, just because you've got to make sure everyone else is off.
Yeah, well, so that doesn't mean
if you leave and all the other people, there's other people on there.
Yeah, but you made out as if off. Like you have to die if something goes
wrong.
Yeah,
well, yeah.
What if everyone gets off?
You got to stay on just in case. You never know. Like why they add extra numbers to big deaths. Why they're like, oh, no one's going to believe only 3 people died in this plane crash.
6 million.
We better... well, it's a bit of a high number for a plane crash. But
plane crash.
Nah. Do you know what I mean, though? So like, yeah. you better stay on. Like the door locks as soon as the boat starts to take on water. The captain's door just locks, bedroom door and his door, and he's got a little built-in sensor in his wrist. So if he's in a hallway, the hallway doors of that close as well, and it starts to feel like a bit like Fort Boyard, and the room fills with water. He's got to collect balls to try and put them through the portholes to escape, and it never works. It's just a way to kill time,
just so he doesn't realise he's
dying.
Yeah, so he doesn't have a panic
attack. Keep him distracted. Yeah.
Melinda Messenger's there.
Yeah, the tiger as well. They bring the tiger's always on every ship. There's always a loose tiger. That's why they filmed The Life of Pi. It was a little secret message to everyone going, there's always a fucking dangerous Siberian on every ship.
That's why they're so like fucking thinly numbered in the
wild.
By.
Yeah. Think about all the boats that have
No one actually looks on boats for tigers.
I watched a TV show yesterday, which I find, this is baffling, right? It's a big digression. It's called Dirty Jobs. It's this guy that goes and has a go at dirty jobs. But one of them, this whole company in Canada have made a lifetime, an income, out of going into the sea near Ontario, and pulling out logs and old bits of boats. And they pull out huge fucking logs of trees that don't even seem to exist anymore, and they're only from a couple 100 years ago. And they do that as a job, which makes me think, are they lying? Do you know what I mean? Like, who's flooded this water here?
Yeah.
There's something else going on here. How can you keep going into this little bit of water here? This what looks like quite a small Canadian sea. Also, Canada sounds better if you call it Canada. Yeah, if you're still finding it. You got all this Canadian timber, underwater timber, that you then sell. It's been submerged for 200 years. Drying that out in itself would be a fucking nightmare.
That's
That
a
would
lot of
take so long
radiators.
and so heavy as well to put on a boat. So they pull one up at a time and then tootle off to the fucking warehouse or whatever and go back. Yeah, time consuming. But to keep finding them just seems ridiculous. They must know, oh, at some point we flooded this area here so that we could kill the fucking Neanderthals that were still living here so that we could thrive. Oh, it doesn't have to be Neanderthals, but
No,
a
no, no.
group
Run
of
with
other
it.
humanoids,
Run
some
with
other
it.
form of group of humanoids, which reminds me of a thought I was having earlier this week as well, which I did want to run past you, but I was driving, and it's the idea that do you reckon that we've been conditioned, not conditioned, but you know how like some people believe in God, but I seem to believe that the Anunnaki created us using laboratories in the moon, right?
Yes.
That's what my go-to thing. It's not a religion as such. It just seems to be like a matter of fact for me for some
Yep.
whatever reason. Now,
Which
what if
is
they did
fucking.
make us?
Yep.
They
Doesn't
they
matter.
did. What if they did make us? But what they put inside of us was everything else on Earth is completely natural. It's all evolved. Evolution is real if you look at everything but humans. And then they created us so that whenever any of us do start to slightly evolve and slightly change and get a little bit better, we fucking bully them, kill them, harangue them. Do you know what I mean? Just fucking. And that's what like autism started. And then we used to bully people with autism and batter them. And people that would be a bit fatter, they'd bully them, batter them in school, and all of that. And it's so instilled in us the tribalism, just to stop us from evolving and stop us from changing.
No. No, Jack.
You
I
don't.
don't.
You don't. You don't think?
I don't think. I don't think any of that's true. I think we
Okay.
are because I think we are still evolving. I think we will continue to evolve. I don't think that has stopped. I also fundamentally will always oppose your Anunnaki fucking have some sort of input on our world, and definitely that they go about it through bullying us in school.
No,
What
no,
are we?
it's so instilled in us. That's the little trait, the little gene they put in us, was so that if we notice something ever even so slightly different about another person, we're like, fucking, we need to kill them, but we can't kill them because we live in a society. Do you know what I mean? There's civilization. We've made civilization. We've evolved. It's not evolved, but we've evolved the world around us for us to fit in there so that we can use it to our advantage rather than us evolving ourselves. And that's why we've made boats to be able to pull old logs out of the seas to be able to make an income in Canada and, record podcasts in the hope of making money by getting people to sign up to patreon.com/worldaroundyou and things like that.
I don't know. I think there's just someone at the other end of that lake just pushing logs in. When you said that and that they keep finding them, I just think no one's looking at the other end of the lake, and there's a bloke just chopping trees down and pushing them
Well,
in the water.
that's one of the things they said though. These trees are like it's been illegal to harvest these trees for like 100 years or something. A certain type of like cedar redwood or something like that. So I was considering, maybe there is a little conspiracy there of these guys cut these trees down, drag them into the sea, and then a few months later go back and be like, fucking look at what we
What are
found
people
here.
doing with this fucking wood, by the way?
I'm not sure. I stopped listening.
No,
'Cause I-
that's stupid. Why would you buy? Why would you buy?
It's historic timber, innit? It's from old boats and stuff, but they just turn it into other wood.
This. Yeah. Honestly, there's many things you could have hit us with that I'd have been prepared for, considering the subject matter you bring us, right? Like, I was ready for fucking aliens today. I was ready for Anunnaki today. I was ready for we're gonna dive into other shit. I wasn't ready for
The timber
Canad-
industry of Canada.
the old wet log industry of Canada.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not
Well,
the
I think
regular
it's very
timber
much
industry.
a cottage industry. Yeah, it's very
think
much a
they-
cottage
I
industry.
think them-
They've got the market cornered, but
Right. Well, I don't know where we take this. It's a bit of a dead wood situation.
it is. But what do you? Well, there's this guy that killed that CEO who's probably some form of special branch, isn't he? Who's been
Oh.
paid to do this.
No, fantastic segue. It
Thank
was
you.
exactly where I've wanted to go since the fucking start. It's
I thought it
exactly
might
what.
be. I
All
thought
I've
it
wanted
might
to
be.
talk about. We're 25
I had no
minutes.
plans at all. See, that's
25
incredible. I had no
minutes in.
plans at all for this. Sorry. Go on.
There's no real plan to talk, but it's the thing that's happened. And for once, Jack, everyone's on our side.
What, that he was just... I was thinking he's just a lunatic who just wanted to kill anybody, and he just happens to have killed this CEO. And he's like, fuck. I thought today I was just going to murder a guy, but I'm all over the news.
The words he inscribed in the 3 bullets he used to shoot the bloke are the name of a book that's entirely about fucking health insurance companies in America and how they are the most corrupt organisations on the planet and just
I didn't know that
death.
he'd done that. I had no
yeah.
idea he'd inscribed... I've not looked into this. I
Delay,
just presumed
deny.
to myself...
I think it's delay, deny, defend. Was I think that's the name of the book, and he'd inscribed.
It's lucky that they found the bullets in that order in a minute, because otherwise they wouldn't have had a clue what he was on about.
No idea.
It's just like defend, deny, delay. What?
Never work
Gibberish.
this out. We'll never work.
Nonsense.
Throw them away.
Very cryptic. This.
Bin them. Bin them. Sack it off.
Triple D's. There's nothing here.
Right. So, Owlman, CEO, turns up for a meeting.
I mean, you had me with Owlman.
Our man turns up. He's there for a meeting. Could be done on Zoom, which makes us think this is a setup.
Oh, of course it's a setup.
Man, big CEO has to go to a meeting. What, in person? Wasn't it on a Monday? Fuck off. Doesn't happen. In New York? New York? Don't think so. He's there. Meeting's supposed to be at 8. He gets shot before the meeting. They just step over his body, do the meeting anyway, which is incredible.
Yeah, I saw about that. That's mental.
Absolutely incredible.
Horrible. Yeah.
That is absolutely true to form for health insurance companies. That's fucking brilliant. They couldn't give a fuck. Also, set up possibly, I don't know. I don't think this is like a hitman, like professional hit thing. I reckon this is like some pure pissed off. My granny died because she had health insurance that she paid for 40 years, and then she had very much something that was curable, but you wouldn't pay. No. Jack's head is already he's uninterested.
It's not that I'm uninterested. Care. No, it's not. It's not just gonna be some guy who's just annoyed his nan died. If it is, he's been fucking MK Ultra'd to the fucking hills. He's been properly programmed there. If that's just a fucking fella who's like, me nan got fucking breast cancer and I got sick and tired of having to squeeze them to see if there was more lumps. I'm traumatised. I don't want anything to do with it. Me granddad's got to wank himself off now. She's never here to do it. It's not a chance. No chance, mate. It's got to be, if it's been made too big, it looks to me, it's a professional hitman pretending he doesn't know what he's doing. So he's probably wearing one of them fucking stockings you can get with like fucking Walter White's face on, but with just a random face on it. So because you wouldn't allow your face to be
Pause.
seen.
I need to quickly throw keys off my balcony and we're going to come back to this. Pause. Provide some entertaining, I don't know, provide like a little...
Okay.
A parody song while we wait. A little bit of like filler music.
What he's doing, ladies and gentlemen, now is he's taking apart his piano. And, you know, like what you used to see on cartoons where people got killed by grand pianos falling from the sky. He's now doing it bit by bit. That's the C key. The F sharp has just made its way over the balcony edge. The B and the D have gone together. Lovely. Harmonious as they've hit the person below. And he now seems to be pushing ever so slowly the rest of the weight of the piano. And he's really getting his shoulder behind it. Oh, he's just realised the brakes on. He's took the brakes off and he is now blasting towards them balcony doors. And he's going to close the lid. He's just closed the lid. And there it is. He's just gone right over the edge of the balcony, boys and girls. And it's fell on the person below. And I have got footage here, which we will share to patreon.com/Troof Seeking, where you can actually see the piano hit the fella underneath and you can see the piano keys replace his teeth. and he's back now. Not even broke a sweat.
No, I cracked my nail a little bit when I pushed it, but it's all right. I think we're good. So, your man, you think that this bloke is professional?
Yeah, made to look, and done everything he can. He's basically done what they did in Captain America: Civil War. He's pretended to be another fella who might even become someone that where people are like, oh yeah, there was already people watching this guy. They already knew who he was, in order to take the heat off him to cause problems elsewhere.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because you could easily wear someone else's face, like not the real face. Well, you could, but you wouldn't look like them because you wouldn't have the bone structure. But you could have a picture of someone's face on something you wear over your skin, or maybe there's some high tech version where it's sort of like little computers on your face, or like some form of jelly mask.
It's funny you should say that, right? Because the only reason we know what his face looks like, because the rest of the time he was masked up, the only reason we know what his face looks like is because on some CCTV in the motel he was checking into, I believe, he was basically fucking flirting with some lassie. Like, some lassie asked him to pull his mask down, the lassie who works at the place, from what I understand.
Who could also be a stooge.
Asked him to pull his mask down to, like, fucking basically, like, check out the goods. And he did so, and that's the only image that they've got. So, like...
See, she could have been also an agent, and she's there to honeypot him so that he shows his face to this conveniently placed camera. Like, do you know what I mean? Think of all the dodgy things going on in motels. Why would you have a camera filming your people that come in there? If there's anybody you can trust, if there's anybody you can trust in America, it's the people using the cheap motels at the sides of freeways. You know what I mean? You don't need to keep a record of who's coming and going in there.
No,
salt of the earth individuals.
You're right. How foolish of me. This is all a plot. This is all a plot.
That's the quickest we've run him over. It's getting quicker and quicker every week.
That bit sort of fits in because you're like, why would he go? It's almost like an intentional slip up.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We have to.
Or they programmed a phrase into him, being, like fucking. Maybe she goes, I finish at 5, or whatever. But maybe more specific, because otherwise he'd always be trying to pull down a mask that isn't there. Maybe that's where the idea of tipping the hat comes from, though. Because loads of people got programmed to, when someone says I finish at 5, they all go to pull the mask down, but they're not actually pulling any mask. It just looks like they're tipping an invisible hat to try and show their face. But then there's she was said the phrase to him, which meant now you've got to show your face. So he shows his face, and then he forgets that he's even done that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Nah.
No.
Opposing theory.
The guy shot himself.
Nah. Either our man was just fucking literally blinded by a little bit of potential fanny for a second and was like, hang on a minute, I know
They're probably going to kill me anyway.
I know I've planned this assassination thoroughly for the last 4 or 5 months.
But there's the option of a cheap sucky.
All the while ruminating over the death of my lifelong wife. Like, but just... a blowy's a blowy, isn't it? Maybe I could just pull my mask down just a second.
And he's probably on a high as well.
Probably thinking last time.
Just throwing it out there, he's probably pretty stressed.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's, he's probably got a lot on his shoulders at this point.
But he definitely an assassin of like our times. He left on a Lime bike.
Oh, so it's like a rented bike.
Yep, always good.
More suspicion.
Always good. Well, he's thrown in a bit of sponsored ads there, isn't he? That's
what I was going to say. Yeah.
This assassination brought to you by Lime.
Yeah, they've listened to this, and they're like, right, Stanley didn't want to be mentioned in the box cutter problem on the planes at 9/11. Line bikes are like, oh, we've seen a gap in the market here, thanks to Troof Seeking. We can let's sponsor a murderer. Yeah.
The citrus assassin.
The citrus assassin?
Yeah, man.
Why? Why the citrus assassin?
The fucking lime bike, mate.
Lime. Oh, I thought it was called Line. I thought it was the Line bike.
Lime bikes, mate. I don't know if it is Lime out in there, out in New York, but he left on a fucking bike. Loved that shit. He basically public
Getting in his
transport all the way.
cardio.
Mate, he's got this, like, he's planned this extremely well. Do we find him dead or alive?
Oh, we find him alive and then we find him dead. If at all. If we find him alive, we find out that he's done loads of other stuff. Conveniently. That they're like, look, we need to... There's all these other crimes here that we've been doing. And
I have heard he was in a competition that was on TikTok where he won 2 terabytes of child porn.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Terrible. What, the look, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
he's never going to get through all that now.
Nah. He's fucked. He can't take that inside with him.
No. No, they won't look too keenly on that.
I'd like to say, though, fucking finally, we've been talking about this shit for a long time. We've been talking about the fact that if we really want world change, we need to not try and do it through systems that are already controlled by the people at the top that we can't really have any hand in. Like, the political system's not going to work. We need to do some grassroots shit. Here it is. This is someone taking out the CEO of the biggest earner and most complained about when it comes to healthcare, like healthcare insurance in America.
But all it's going to do is they're just going to replace him with someone who will definitely play ball because they'll be thinking, fucking hell, did they kill him? I've got to do anything they now suggest. And if we know anything from films, and we know a lot from film, we take an awful lot from films for real life. I know I do.
Yeah,
That's
you've
normally
literally been
what
talking
happens in
about
a
your
film.
good versus bad. That is stuck in your head because of films.
So there's this guy knocking about in the company who's given these people little ideas, and he's like, look, well, if we kill him, then we can probably bring in the rule where all of the vaccinations cause autism, and then we've got loads of people that will want to build new train lines, and that makes loads of money if we build more train lines. Think of all the Chinese people we can start importing here as well legally, then to build the new train lines for us.
Hey, Jack, hang on. What if you've just fucking touched on something here? What if you've just revealed that the influx in autism is like not even a 5 or 10 year plan, like a 25, 30 year plan to
introduce evolution to our species because it's not a natural thing because we were created by the Anunnaki, so we're trying to invoke evolution through science.
Nah, bro, I was gonna say improve infrastructure through love of trains and like the building of improved
just so we can get about
improve rail facilities. Yeah, that's all.
But then we're all autistic and don't really want to go outside.
But we all want to go and see the trains. We don't go anywhere. We just all go to the stations and stand.
And then
look
there's all these trains and no one knows what's in them.
Nah, and just
and for some reason there's like a number counter at every station slowly rising, and everyone's like, seems like a big number, but I don't know what this is counting, but it's always counting.
The people that are the only people left to actually operate and ride the trains and take the freight to and from places are the non-autists. The purebloods that are left. And
they, ironically, compared to films, end up doing all the dog's body work while we all live like gods. Staring at trains from bridges. They build more bridges.
No, you've got to think, we're also master... We'll say we, like, we're not that type. But we're also masters of, like, the mathematics, like, the arts, science, all this shit. So, like, we're bossing it in
savants.
Life. Yeah, we are. So we're bossing it.
Well, the savants are. Yeah, but then there's us lot who are just, you know...
Hey, but we're part of it by default. We've still got the gene, whereas the unafflicted, like you say, are like a lower caste, and they're set to do like the jobs that we can't. Basic customer service, call centers, any job that involves social interaction. No, they're meant to talk.
No, you'd make them do it in autistic conditions though. So, like, there's no background music, there's no machine noise, apart from if it's a nice machine noise, maybe like sirens or like foghorns. The generators, Jenny's in the background.
Yeah, that's nice. I like
a big van idling outside your window.
Oh, just I do like the sound of a diesel engine just idling.
No.
Love that. That'd be great.
That made me bite my lip and go, oh.
Do you know what else wouldn't be in there? But anything that can that makes offensive noises, like no pens, you can't tap them.
No, see, I like that.
I hate
but I
when
have to
people
be the
tap
one
pens.
doing it.
This aha. Now you've done it. That's the point.
You're in the control.
I can't have anyone else do it because other people don't do it with rhythm.
Well, but
There's no
what
pattern
if?
or anything to it, and fuck them. They're doing it with reckless abandon, and I've got no time for that. If you're tapping a pen, there has to be purpose, there has to be rhythm, and there has to be some sort of like consistency through the power of your tap. You can't just be going about this fucking willy-nilly.
Yeah, it can't just be all do 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 do. It's got to be do do.
When people come up to me at work and fucking start tapping on the desk while I'm doing something, I just want to take both my hands, reach up, place them behind their head, and just smash it into the fucking desk repetitively. But I don't. I look at them and I go, please stop doing that, mate. It really does my head in. And then they still look at me as if I've done the thing that I actually wanted to do. And in my head, there's a split second going, I should have just smashed his face off the desk.
I should have just hit them.
Yeah, I should have put pens in his eyes and then fucking ran him into the wall so they just went through the back of his skull. Instead,
Frosties him. Shovel up his nose and frosties him.
I've asked him in a way that I would consider quite fucking like...
Very politely.
Consider
fucking
it.
pack it in. Yeah.
Like, don't. But because I'm down here, where you can't say no to people, people stare at you like you've just pissed in their face. So I'm just going to start pissing in people's faces.
Just jumping on the desk.
Yeah.
Fucking...
I'm just going to keep one loaded at all times.
Wait here, because I've only just been...
No, I'm just going to keep one loaded at all times.
You're going to have to come closer. There's no pressure in here.
I will get bladder failure just from being ready for when that occasion occurs.
Buying in catheters.
So, we're taking down the billionaires.
It seems it.
Step one.
Have you seen them pictures, though, that have been circulating of Elon had a meeting yesterday or the day before, and he's took his little kid with him?
I have, yeah.
Which is a
human
move.
shield.
Yeah, good move.
It's a very Elon thing, isn't it?
I would do that. Just to play it safe.
It's a very Elon thing.
Yeah. I'll start wearing them in one of them. Are they called babushkas, where you strap them to your chest?
A babushka is like a Russian grandmother, but I know what you mean.
Well, you could strap a Russian grandmother to your chest. What are they called? Papoose?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
The front-loaded child. Front-loaded child holder.
And I'd have a backpack on as well, with a really nice Persian cat in there. Because a lot of people wouldn't want to kill that either. Because then you're getting everyone on the internet's angry.
Yeah, you're nailing it, really. If you're going to have like a human shield suit, there's not much
Cats
else.
and Kids.
Yeah.
Which, ironically, is the name of the series on them terabytes.
If you were to say there was a replicant, say there was a copycat, say this man started a trend, and this is finally it. This is the fucking start.
He's the Joker.
No, not the Joker. This bloke, he's not the Joker. He's just kickstarted a fucking...
That's in the film The Joker.
I
That's
get
what
it,
he was trying to do. Yeah.
But who's the
spark?
Who's the first billionaire you want to see gunned down in the UK?
I don't know who many of them are. I don't know the names.
Who's a person of note you want to see as a statement you want to see taken down? Let's in before Noel Edmonds. Don't.
It was straight there, but I thought I always say.
Also, but it wouldn't work.
It
wouldn't work because that's the thing. People do hope he gets hurt. People wouldn't give a fuck. People wouldn't give a fuck.
Fuck, I wish it was me.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Just like the Daily Mail. They print the very first ever landscape front page, and it just says "Wish you were here" and Noel Edmonds dead on the ground.
Inscribed in the two bullets were "No deal."
Yeah.
But who do you want to see? Who would you be like? You see their name in the papers, such and such has been slain in assassination, and you're like, "Fuck, they're coming after the big guns." But they're coming after the system.
I think it's got to be. Like if you went after there's got to be a fella who owns Nisa.
Do you know what, mate? I have no idea who owns Nisa.
Exactly, and I bet they're fucking shady them.
Yeah, Because
you can go into some of them and you'll never see the same member of staff twice. And you're like, what's going on here? I come in here every day. I've been coming in here every day for years, and I've never met you before.
I'll flip
and then the next day, I've never met you before either.
I'll flip that. You can go in there on any day for 5 to 10 years and see the same packet of biscuits.
And they're always getting deliveries. You never see a shop that small get deliveries every day. They've got distribution sorted because they've got their own lorries, so the logistics fine. They've obviously got head offices, warehouses, and that. They also Tesco have a hand in them now, I think, because they sell Jacks in there in some of them, which is a Tesco brand that they have to be Tesco affiliated to sell.
While we're on,
like
we are not affiliated with Tesco or Jacks, but I would like to say the bag of onion rings, frozen onion rings you get in Nice's from Jacks, is not only fucking massive for like £1.30, but some of the finest onion rings I think I've ever had.
I once went to a farm shop where they sold onion rings individually out of a massive freezer.
Sick. Well,
It was a shop in the middle of nowhere. Basically, it was a cafe. And then just before you get into the cafe, they had 3 freezers. One of them had like a pick and mix scoop. Yes. And it was just frozen chips that they've clearly just emptied out of McCain's bags into a freezer. No bucket, no box, just to the bare frost inside the freezer. And then the other one, full of onion rings.
Sick.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great fucking pick and mix, to be fair. Because you could do what I did the other day, which was sit and eat 1/2 kilogram of onion rings with just a load of varied sauces that I've kept from different takeaways over the last few weeks.
It's a nice thing to do.
It made such a difference to a bowl of chips, mate. And in like half the time. Top tip, Jack's onion rings from Nice and or Tesco. Again, not an affiliate, but would
We're
like
also
to be.
not advising that anybody kills the fella or woman who owns it.
Yeah,
just if we're throwing out disclaimers out there,
if we're going to keep people off, if we're going to keep people off the kill list, let's not take Nice because they might be shady, but they're also the backbone of like low-income neighbourhoods.
But
like
I would be
my
thinking
neighbourhood.
Someone's up to something here.
True.
If someone killed the owner, because then you'd also know who the owner was, and you'd be like, "Fucking hell,
that's weird."
He's kept himself quiet, hasn't he?
Yeah.
What's he been up to? Let's look into him.
Shadowy figure.
Handing out MacBooks, you say?
Who's got to go down from here?
Adele.
If Adele went down, you'd be like, someone guns down Adele in the street. You know it's not gang war. Like, I know she was fucking skeptic for a little bit. She thought she was a fucking rude gal for a little while, but
didn't she? I might be very wrong here, but didn't she start trying to make herself look like a black woman with like wigs and stuff, or is that a different person?
She verged.
Yeah, mad thing that.
She went.
Mad thing.
I don't know if
she
did the
could
dollars
never
out.
do that, innit?
I don't know if she did. Well, I mean, many have tried.
I don't think she went.
Many have tried.
Full on Rachel.
Many blokes have tried. Let's not count them out. But Adele, Branson. Someone takes out Branson. You're like this because Virgin.
There's a lot going on there.
There's a lot going on with Virgin. Flights expensive.
Music, entertainment, trains.
Their internet's fucking can be shite, can be good. He's got his fingers in many pies. Someone takes down Branson. You're like, ooh, this is a notable figure. This is gay. Someone takes out Sugar.
Yeah.
Alan Sugar goes, oh. Brits like, and also Brits of a certain generation would even clock in, because that's the thing. If you're going to start revolution now, it can't just be someone who's well modern, like, because the older generations aren't going to recognise and aren't going to understand the fucking...
The importance and the relevance of what's happened.
They're not going to understand the magnitude of the situation, Jack.
Magnitude is the word,
Is the word that was dancing
Great
on the,
word.
It was dancing on the tip of my tongue. It just wouldn't...
Yeah. Tapping the back of my teeth.
Wouldn't fucking hop off, you know what I mean? But you need someone that's going to understand that. Well, you need someone they're going to understand just how important it is. And someone like Branson or Sugar, because the youth still know Branson.
Yeah.
Do the youth know Sugar? I don't know.
I don't know what we... Well, probably not. He's not on telly all the time.
Deborah Meaden.
He still does The Apprentice.
Someone takes out Deborah Meaden.
Oh, I'd be gutted. I've always thought she seems like the one that'd be sound. Like if you was to bump into Theo Pafites or Peter or any of the others in a pub, you'd be like, nah. Deborah's there. She's fucking 4 bottles of wine in. She's
Aye.
got a bag in her pocket. She's like, come here. Come on, give us a kiss. Give us a kiss and I'll buy you a pint.
She's
Do you know
feeding
what I
blokes'
mean?
asses in the pub, like acting like one of the lads.
Yeah, yeah. No one's freaked out by it. It's just our
It's
Debs.
Debs.
It's
She
just what
keeps
she's
take-
like after. It's just what she's like after five
She keeps
bottles.
taking people's quids off the fucking off the pool table.
Yeah, and pinging them at people's heads.
Like, watch this. Hey, watch this. Goes over the jukebox and just
Watch
puts
me
fucking,
blind him.
just puts Gay Bar on 5 times at the jukebox, being like, aye. They're gonna
She's
love
sticking
this
her
one.
hand on the dartboard. With
Yeah.
just the double
Go on.
doing the Spock
Go
sign
on.
with treble 20 in the gap going.
Go on,
"Gwen,
you funny.
go on.
Go
Fucking
on.
do it. Do it. Do it.
See, Ron,
Yeah.
he's fucking scared, Ron. Ron, he's fucking scared. Yeah, Meads goes, then the world we know that shit's going down. Mate, I hope this is a start of a trend.
I don't. I think that I think it works. Do you know what I mean? Like, it clearly works. Like, what's going on? I know that's a contrary opinion to be like, pro-capitalist, but it does work, doesn't it? To a degree, it works for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, I never thought I'd say this, but they've got him. They've actually got him. This is
No, they've not got me. I'm just laying the mat at the door for them.
no. I never thought I'd see you just fucking cower like that.
That's
We're
not cowering.
finally on the
cowering.
cusp. There is no way. Look, in some ways, yes, the world in some areas needs leaders, needs people in high positions that do happen to make them a lot of money. You could say it equates to the importance of the position and basically the fact that it's all on their head if shit goes wrong. However, this is the head of the biggest and worst company in the most evil industry on the planet.
I understand that, but I mean, just like in general, I don't want it to just start happening.
No.
It'll be
this
a
up.
nightmare as well. Like, imagine simple things like brand recognition. Imagine they take down Mr. Pringle, and all of a sudden, like, oh, we can't call him Pringles, and he can't have a moustache anymore because we've killed the guy he's based off.
Jack, look, we're not all like the peddler. We've got certain targets. I'm not out here taking it. But look, we're leaving Nisa alone. We're leaving Pringles alone. We're not touching Pringles. I like Pringles.
I
And
do.
to my
That's why I want them protected.
To my knowledge, Pringles haven't caused thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people to die because they refuse to pay out of something that they promised to give to people. Pringles just make a tasty potato-based snack.
Well, it'd be mint though if they were forcing people in one country to mine the little bit of metal for the top of it, wouldn't it?
That's what
The
it
thing
means
that
by it
seals
says
them
you
in.
just can't stop.
Yeah,
That is on the
you
contract.
can't stop. No days off.
For those Guatemalan kids, it's just the contract
Yeah.
you just can't stop.
Because they've managed to find long, thin rocks where they've got to keep shaving down thin layers.
That's one pipe. That's very thin shavings off one hollow pipe that runs right the way through the centre
Which
of the
is
earth.
what China was looking for in the Swedish seas.
Brilliant.
Trying to hook it up, being like, well, fucking save them Guatemalan kids. We know what a sweatshop's like.
They're
We know
just
what the
cheeky
slave
lads,
trade's
aren't
like.
they? They're just proper cheeky lads, the China. There's a lot of banter going on at the moment. There's a lot of...
those cheeky Chinese lads.
We've got fucking Assad for fucking off to his pal Putin in Russia. We've got the Chinese being very, very cheeky. Extra cheeky. We've got some lad being even more cheeky in New York. We're in a playful... 2025 is shaping up to be a very playful year.
Well, you could even say 2024 has been the cheeky year. It's a very cheeky Christmas.
It is. Something's going to happen. There's a lot of things happening. There's something... I don't think we've seen the last of the big events before the year's up. But
there'll be a
when
few
I'm talking
more.
about CEOs, I mean like the heads of the fucking brutal industries. That is the most brutal industry. Besides like fucking the military or like
Alcohol as well, though.
the prison system, or tobacco. Like
Yeah.
even then, though, that's gambling would be worse than tobacco or alcohol. to me,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the other
yeah.
two, to a degree, there's
They're pretty sick.
they're
Having
pretty
a
cool,
fag
man.
and having a beer is lovely.
They're also not really forced.
There's no fun in losing a fiver on a horse you can't even pronounce the real name of, so they've called it Hedgebow Jack. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
They've given it a 30-syllable name, and most of the people gambling on these horses can't read any more than 4 syllables.
Definitely can't speak French, which is usually what the fucking horse's name is in.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've called it Spit or Swallow. There we go. One you can remember when you're pissed 4 deep. But yeah, I would like to see the head of gambling companies go. All those heads.
Mr. Dice. Well,
Yeah.
Mr. Die.
Yeah.
He's just the one.
Yeah. Mr. Deck. Mr. Deck.
Mr. Roulette.
Yeah. The French bastard. I fucking hate
Oh.
Mr. Roulette.
It's just an African called Blackjack.
Yeah, because let's be honest, the game's been around for a long time.
South African. He's a white guy. It's an ironic name.
No, it's just from a bygone era, and like gambling's very fucking.
Yeah, and it's stuck around.
Yeah. They won't. Gambling.
It's a hereditary title.
Yep. I'd like to see all the heads of like gambling sites go. I'd like to see what other industries do we want to get fucked off. What other Where's the righteous assassinations?
The companies that put little coin operating things on toilet doors.
100%, Jack.
They're nasty people.
There's no need for that whatsoever.
No. And with that though, I know it's touching on government, and you said you didn't want to touch government, but also then the people that have also made it illegal to piss in the street.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
There's just better ways of solving that. Have public urinals outside.
People that made in London. Did you know that some of London architecture is made that way so that people, when they were drunk back in the day, would piss all over themselves? The walls go flat, like smooth, vertical, and then sort of bellow out. Where we would now put like a layer of damp-proof coursing, it folds out a bit on the walls, and it's so that when people would come out at night pissed, they'd try to stop them from pissing up the nice buildings. They built these into the walls so that all of the piss goes all over the shoes and legs.
That's an incredibly British way of sorting something like that out. I love it.
It's the antiquated equivalent of putting little spikes on benches so that skateboarders can't use them. And skateboarders is in inverted commas, because by skateboarders, obviously, we mean the homeless.
Yeah. Lads out just having a good time. Just lads out there having a good time. Sometimes it's day, sometimes it's night.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's warm, sometimes it's cold. Any other industries we want to get toppled? Because what
the people
we want,
that
right?
make benches for bus stops.
Fuck them. They're at a weird angle.
Well,
there's
it's
never
another
enough
homeless
backspace.
thing, but still.
Yeah.
Not that I'm being like, oh yeah, be homeless. Like, no, get a house, pay your way. But
if you're forced.
Yeah, but if you're forced, I think you should have somewhere flat to sleep that's elevated.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
You know what I mean? I'm not a cunt, but I'm not saying, that fucking throw it all away and live in a bus shelter.
Because what we want, ideally, is for these positions to just be like, no one wants the job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's too risky.
Yeah, because what this will then do is the way to look at this, mate, is if you kill enough people at the top of evil industries, more people are going to want to be or see jobs as like a reflection of themselves morally, and then will want fulfilling jobs that are usually considered undesirable, like back to teaching jobs and shit like that. This fixes
and because
society.
They've got the power, these people would have the power from knowing people that they know. Those jobs would then get paid more.
Yeah.
Because they'd be like, well, if I'm going to do that, I want more money for it, because I know where we can get that money.
Yeah. And then we basically make those jobs untouchable. No one wants them. The industries close themselves down.
We do it like jury duty. So you get a little slip in the door. You're like, right, you're the head of Unilever for the next 6 months. Best of luck.
Yeah.
You're going to be paid 40 grand a year, bit more than minimum wage, comfortable to live off. just enough to not completely destroy your life for the next 6 months by wrecking your tax bracket, you should be all right. Bit of stress, you're probably going to go bald or grey, but you're only doing it for 6 months, so you can't make great changes to it.
This is true. You can't do too much damage. Maybe you can fix a few wrongs that the last person did. And then
Or you can introduce a new flavour of shampoo as well.
Yeah, you get one chance. Each person in their 4-month period they get a hire one, they get a fire one, they get an add a product, they get to remove a product. And then no one at any point gets to invest in some sort of fucking covert takeover of a Central American country just so we can source some sort of random ingredient and destabilise the area for the next 30 years.
An ingredient that we're only going to hoard anyway and never actually use because we made it illegal 200 years ago to own.
Oh, no, we'll use it in one fucking Christmas edition and then it'll get discontinued after 3 months and then that's it. We'll keep the rest. Just in boxes and let it rot. Like the bodies of all the people left behind in our wake.
What if they made a new rule? Do you reckon people would still want to be billionaires because of the power and the money that comes with it and influence? But they say, look, once you've made 1 cent into a billion, as soon as your bank hits that number or your company hits that number, we peel all the skin off your face and replace it with transparent plastic, like breathable seaweed. Clear. You'll live, you won't be in any pain, you're very rich, you can afford it. But everyone's going to be able to see how your cheeks work.
Yeah, like the old clear Game Boy.
Yeah. Exactly,
I like the sound of that.
Nice little blue tint to it if you want. If you want,
I like
as
the
long as
sound
you
of
can
that.
still see inside. Because then would people be like, oh, I don't fancy that. I might 999,999 million's more than enough. I'll have that. I don't need any more. I don't need a penny more.
Yeah. I like the idea,
it
just so
solves
they're
the problem.
recognisable.
Yeah, we know where they are. You're like, oh, there's one. Although I imagine the amount of times you're going to go, there's one. You're not going to be like, there's one. Like you've just seen 5 or more. Like you've seen an Eddie Stobart down the M4.
This
it's
is
just
true.
like, there's another. It's just like you're going to see one and go, fucking hell, he's a billionaire. And then at that point, everyone's just chasing after him, trying to kill him. Give us your money, give us a job.
Jack, you're back on board again. About 10 minutes ago, you were really a big fan of capitalism, and now you're trying to hunt down CEOs with see-through faces. I'm glad I've got you back on board, man. That's
where you went wrong. You needed to bring in the sci-fi. You just need to bring in a little bit of, how can we get Jack into this?
Yeah.
He likes seeing flesh, and he likes things that seem impossible.
Yeah, smashed it. We're both, like, this is a big shout-out to Mr. Man who fucking shot the mush in New York.
And to Nintendo for them clear Game Boy Advances.
And Nintendo for the clear Game Boy Advance. Big deal. Big deal. Massive fan of that. Probably equally a fan of both. Hope the mush doesn't end up as we suspect.
Hanging himself by shooting himself twice back in the head.
Once being caught, giving up, writing a 15-page confession with names, dates, addresses. Although when he was taken into custody, he didn't have the bottom half of his body, hands or eyes. It's very unfortunate, that demise. I hope he doesn't meet that demise. I hope he fucking manages to escape somewhere, get somewhere where he can't be extradited, or just fucking becomes a billionaire and gets a transparent face, and then he won't be able to be recognised by that picture that everyone's seen him in, and he'll get off. Yeah, good luck to him. Any closing words, Jack? Can you hear me dryer?
I can. I thought it was the sound of someone pissing.
Did you? Yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
Is it pure loud?
No, it's just in the background. Every now and then it just sounds like water hitting the water in a toilet.
Absolutely fantastic. Just to let everyone know, there's not one actually pissing. That's the washing machine draining.
I have got something to tell you.
Look, it's a Spotify free episode. Fuck off.
In it, yeah.
We're doing anything
you
to
can
clean
have the
up audio.
We can have fucking jobs going on. I've got one thing that we can't really fit into anything else, and it makes no sense, but it's a nice little light note to end on. Weird little news story that I enjoyed.
Go on then.
There was a pig found in Manchester. A big pot-bellied pig.
All right then.
Right. In a 1-bedroom apartment.
His own?
Yeah. 26 stone it weighed.
Fucking hell. That's a fucking massive pig, mate.
Yeah, 165 kilos, right? And the person who had been going in to feed it had only ever fed it what was described as junk food and Coca-Cola. So this is the tastiest pig in existence.
That pig is like, I told you that I cooked a pig in Dr. Pepper. That pig
Yeah, then I found this news story the same day.
That pig has been cooking in Coke for its entire life.
Yeah. This is a pig with diabetes built in.
That is going to be so sweet and succulent, man. It's like a honey glazed ham from the inside. So
You wouldn't
what
want to live
happened?
beneath it, though, would you?
What happened to said pig?
They took it out.
Where is it now?
It didn't say, which to me was
butcher's.
suspicious. Yeah. The fact they hadn't mentioned where it went
Yeah,
and what
yeah,
happened.
yeah.
It's not gone to a... Because if it had gone to a sanctuary, they'll have said it's gone to a sanctuary. They're
Yep.
never going to say it's gone to a farm.
It's gone to a Toby Carvery.
Yeah. It's probably on some billionaire's dining table, isn't it?
Yeah, it's close to Christmas.
Yeah.
That is a very extravagant way of saying we're having honey glazed ham tonight. We're actually having 26 stone. This is aged from birth in Coca-Cola, doner kebabs, double cheeseburgers, and everything else within a 5-mile radius of the
It's
northern
never
quarter.
seen the sky.